Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm very excited to bring you another train simulator game called Tracks. Now, we'll get into the game in just a moment and we'll go through some of the introductory steps, some of the very beginning steps that we'll take in order to set up our train tracks, start picking up passengers, delivering passengers, and so on. But I wanted to start out here in the Steam store so that you could see the full title of the game as well as some of the screenshots. Now, this game has been available through the early access platform since 2017. However, full release, the 1.0 release, is coming up in November, so there's a lot to look forward to for this game. The official name is Tracks, the Toy Train Tracks Set Simulator Game. Now, that is a mouthful, but this game is for anyone who enjoys just the leisure that you can gain from playing with toy trains. If you've ever wanted to dedicate a room, or maybe you have dedicated a room in your house to setting up toy trains and setting up villages and towns and destinations and passengers and all that sort of thing, this is the game for you, as it will allow you to do all of those things. Now, there are a couple of different modes available in the game. One is just a pure imagination mode where it is all creative and you can do pretty much anything you want with, as far as I can tell, near infinite scale of a world to build in. There's also an objective mode which will place passengers at certain parts around the map, and then you have to figure out how to join all of this together with tracks and create a route to get those passengers from their start over to their destination. So with that in mind, now let's hop into the game and take a look at some of the options. Before we jump into the gameplay itself, let's first take a look at the controls and the options. Now, under controls, we're going to be able to do a lot with just the mouse in this game. Left click will allow us to lay down new tracks. Right click will allow us to delete tracks that we've just laid down. And the middle mouse button, or the scroll wheel, will allow us to raise or lower the terrain and the tracks so that we can get to passengers that might be at different heights around the map. Some of the other options we'll be using today, train mode, which is the T key by default, and that will allow us to toggle back and forth from the creative mode, where we can fly around and create our tracks and destinations as we see fit, and then also, whenever needed, press the T key and take control of the train to make it go faster, slower, stop at certain spots, and so on. Also, the clear or remove key, the C key, is very helpful, as there is no doubt that I will be making plenty of mistakes as time goes on. All right, there is also a basic tutorial which we'll be following here in just a moment, but those are the basics of the controls. Now let's look at the options. So we have some graphics options here, all the way from basic to beautiful. Resolution scale from 50% to 100%. Full screen, VSync. I am on a 1080p monitor, so our resolution is 1920 by 1080. You can toggle the music on or off. The music is very relaxing, and I definitely recommend keeping that on, but for the purposes of our recording today, I have toggled that off. And then same thing with the game sounds. You can leave those on or off as well. And then finally, your field of view, your FOV. In build mode, it defaults to 100. While we're driving the train, it defaults to 90. All right, with some of these basics out of the way, now let's head into the gameplay. First, we need to decide on the game mode and environment that we want to play in. Under game mode, we have free play and passengers. Free play is your standard creative mode. Passengers is more of an objective-based system where passengers will spawn around the map, and we have to figure out how to get them from their start over to their destination. And for our purposes today, this is the game mode that we are going to choose. Next, we need to mouse over our environments and see which game modes are available on which maps. Now, the first one, which is a clear and a blank slate map, only has creative mode available. So as we keep moving over, we've got the night version of the clear map. Also only the free play or creative mode available. But we come over to the modern apartment, and here you can see the basic look of the apartment, and we have both modes available here. So we're going to go ahead and click on the modern apartment, and now we can click on passengers to make sure we have it selected, and we're ready to get started. Okay, passengers will appear around the room. Open the toy box to drop a platform close to where they are waiting. Press K to skip this tutorial. We're not going to be skipping the tutorial. So the toy box that it's referring to is the space bar, and that's going to be all of the many different set pieces that are available to us. So we're going to press OK, and now it's going to show us our very first passengers. Here they are, located right next to the TV. So now we need to build some track and create a platform that will allow us to pick them up and take them over to the station. So a very basic way to get us started off with our routes. All right, so now we're brought right back over to the starting location for the train. And let's first take a brief look around the room. Here you can see we've got the radiator right there in the center of the room. We've got, this is actually a business passenger drop off here. We've got more tables, and all of these are places for passengers to spawn in at different points and times through the tutorial. All right, so now we need to get our tracks from our starting location over to here, and then we also need to put down a platform. So let's first, we're going to press the left mouse button a few times and start making, let's see. Now, if we keep going straight, we're eventually going to come to this. I'm actually going to use the scroll wheel and go up a couple of levels. And then I'm going to move forward. Okay, that's not quite high enough. So let's right mouse click. And we're going to go up one more level. And there you go. Now you can see we can go right over this. Obviously, we could have gone around it to either side. There are all sorts of options here. But the reason I did that is now I'm going to come back. I'm going to press the C key to clear out our selection, which would have been at the end of the most recent path that we had created. And I'm going to come off the side here. I'm going to left click right there, and we're going to come out and we're going to create a little bit of a wavy path here and have a little fun with this. All right, so how far do we want to go? That is actually too far. Let's come back one. Yes, this should be perfect. It should line up great. All right, I think we need to come down one. Is that right? Nope, that is not right. So we'll come back and we'll go simply straight across. All right, so for now you can see you can do this pretty quickly if you want to. So now we need to line this up. And let's see, do we want to come off? Let's keep it up at this level for just another. There we go. Now let's come down a couple, and perfect. All right, so now we need to spin around, and we need the tracks to come out right next to the platform. So that will be absolutely perfect. And so now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to figure out a way around the arm of the couch here. So we can either go around it and then go back up in order to connect and create a basic rail network, or we can go up and over. For right now, we'll go up and over. Fortunately, our train has no issue with getting through this particular situation. All right, there you go. We have created our first rail network. I'm going to go ahead and press the C key to clear out our selection. And all right, so we have our basic rail network plus room for expansion later on. All right, so now we need to put down a platform. So we press the space bar, and as we look at all of the different options here, we've got buildings, we've got decorations, we've got nature from trees and bushes and so on. We got vehicles, then we come down to passengers. Now the passengers, this is where we need the platform. So we're going to grab the platform and we need to rotate it. That's the R key. And we need to rotate it so that the open side of the platform is available to us and right next to the train tracks. So we're going to go ahead and drop this here, and you can see it sends out the message, and any passengers that are within this radius will head over to the platform and wait to be picked up. So in order to hop into our train, we'll press the T key, and now we are the conductor in the train. Now you can use the arrow keys or the W, A, S, and D keys to move the train around. So I'm going to press the W key, and we're just going to get going here, not too terribly fast. We can use the space bar once we get there. Let's see, we're going to turn to the right here. Make sure our train goes this direction. Now, if we just wanted to let the train go at this speed forever, we could exit out right now by pressing the T key again, and that's exactly what would happen. The train would keep going without us. All right, so we're going to get right up to the platform, and then we're going to stop and allow our passengers to hop on back here. I really like the graphics here. I mean, this really, in my eyes, captures the essence of what it's like to play with a toy train set. Now you can see all the passengers are hopping on board. Let's make sure we got everybody. It looks like we do. All right, so as I move down, you can see here's the speed of our train, and right now we're going pretty slow. So we'll speed that up a little bit. Thankfully, we don't have very far to go, so there's no reason to really worry a lot about our speed, but the space bar will allow you to come to a pretty quick stop. So you really don't have to worry a whole lot about how fast you're going. Okay, once you see the green light go off, that means that the train is no longer powered, and it will only continue going using its own momentum, which you can see is not going to be quite enough to get us to where we want to go. All right, there you go. You see our passengers hopped off, and now we have a new set of passengers. We need to find them and figure out how to bring them back to the first station that is located here on the sofa. All right, let's go ahead and make sure we come to a full stop. And now we're going to hop back out into our building view, and we're going to see if we can find these other passengers. Now, they can be pretty much anywhere on this map I've seen, and here they are, right over here. Okay, so on top of the table. So what we need to do is bring a route through here, and we can connect up with this portion of our track, which will lead us straight into where we need to be. Okay, so now we know where we need to go. Let's go ahead and pick up right here. And I'm going to go ahead and back out a little bit so that we can get some room. So we're going to lay the train tracks. Let's see, we've gone a little bit too far. We're going to run into our passengers. So we're going to back that up. All right, let's go ahead and come down. Is it one level we need to come down? Yes, one level will be perfect. That will enable us to come around the corner here. Let's go one more, then we're going to turn the corner. And as I come down a little bit in height, you can see we're going to need to come down at least one level here. And let's go back up a little bit. Change our field of view. Yes, we're definitely going to need to come down Let's see, how do we want to do this? Yes, perfect. That will enable us to join in. And then we will press the C key once again. So now we've got area for another network that we can go off into this direction, because who knows, we might have passengers over on these tables at some point. But now we've also got a place to join back up. So we're going to press, let's see, were we ready for the T key? No, we need to press down our platform first. So let's come back in, platform, and we're going to place that right there. And you can see once again, the passengers are getting loaded up on the platform and they're ready for us. Oops. I pressed the T key by accident, but you can see that's no trouble at all to fix. Now let's come back in, press the T button, and our train is right where we left it since we left it stopped. So we're going to go ahead and try to get a little bit of speed. As you can see, our train's not going to have too much of a problem getting to where it needs to go, even through all of the uphill sections that we currently have. All right, so we're going to go straight here at this first junction. All right, here we go. We're getting near to the platform. So I'm actually going to slow this thing down because momentum should take us all the way there, or very close to it at least. All right, let's go ahead and stop there. I think that'll be close enough to get all these guys on board. All right, let's make sure that everybody is up and going. Okay, looks good there. All right, so now it's going to be pretty simple. We'll head around the track. We still have just a basic route set up right now, but you can already see how this could be very, very fun as you get later into the objectives and have to pick up passengers from different areas. You're going to have different heights to manage in the world, and figuring out a way to connect all of those tracks should be quite a bit of fun. All right, we've made it to our destination. And there we go. Another set of 10 passengers have been delivered. Okay, so now we have our first business passengers. They're waiting on the dining table. So the first thing we need to do is find the dining table. And they must be taken to the business station within the time limit. Now, we're certainly going to try to do that. However, it's not really a big deal if you don't make it within the time limit. Again, this game is all about having fun at your own pace, so don't worry too much about the time limit. All right, we're going to press the T key, and there you can see in the top right-hand corner. All right, let's see, and here we are. All right, so here are our business passengers. So we need to come through here, which is going to be another route. So let's go ahead and click here. We're going to come off in this direction now. All right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is take our path straight through by the station here. And let's see, is that right? I think that's right. And I believe we're going to need to come down one level. Maybe two, actually. Yes, 2 levels is what we needed to come down. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's more than that. No, it's more than that. We need to come down 3 levels. And that will put us right up against the table. You can see our countdown timer is fast approaching. Because remember, not only do we have to get down the tracks, but we also have to get back in the train and make it over here. So that's why I say, in all likelihood, you're not going to be able to do that, particularly on your first few times. All right, let's see here. Are we on approximately the same level? It looks like we are. So what I'm going to do is try to do that. Okay, not bad. Not exactly the way I had planned it out, but that should work just fine. And my preference is to have these things look as crazy as possible because that just makes it more fun for me. Now, obviously, our countdown timer, we are not going to make it to where we need to be on time. So we're not going to worry about that timer. In fact, we're just going to have some fun with this. The reason I like the passenger mode over just the basic creative mode most of the time is for this very reason, because it drops passengers at different places around the world, and we have to figure out how to manage the different heights and the different areas around the map that we need to reach. So we're going to keep going straight and take the long route. We're going to head through the station. No need to stop there. We don't have any passengers just yet, but this is where we're coming back to. And for us, oh, wait. You can probably see what I forgot to do. I forgot to set up our platform, which is something that I regularly forget to do. So we're going to do that right now. Press the space bar, come in and grab our platform. Let's see, actually we could put this on either side. We could put it over here if we wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and just put it down right there. Give these guys a chance to hop on board. All right, so everybody's on board the platform. So let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. We'll turn around and make sure that we get everything lined up. And there we go. That should be perfect. Here they go. Happy passengers hopping on board. Of course, they're not completely happy with us because we didn't make it within the time limit. But now we get to take a ride all the way back around until we reach the business station. All right, now we'll come back to our junction. Again, not exactly how I planned it, but this gives me an opportunity to do that. That is how we can actually make jumps in this game. So we had an open track there, and I did not turn. So now we are without tracks. Now, the interesting part here is I can't turn this thing, so in order to do anything with it, we're going to have to reset our train. And so then that brings us back here. So it gives you an idea of if you mess things up and you get the train off its tracks, it's not the end of the world. All right, so we still got our passengers on board. There they are. So now we can come back around. And this time, we'll see if we can't get stopped and get these passengers out of here. I'm sure they loved that trip as we took the Evel Knievel route. So yeah, anytime you make a mistake, get the train off its tracks, then just simply hold down the T key and that will take care of getting your train reset. All right, so we've gotten stopped, and it seems to be stopped in a pretty good place. Okay, so not quite everybody can get off. So let's move up a little bit further so the last passengers can get to their destination. All right, there we go. So there is your first trip through the game and setting up our basic tracks. But again, keep in mind, passengers can be located anywhere around the game world. In fact, let's see where they've dropped. You can see in the top right hand corner 15 more passengers are out there somewhere. Let's figure out where they are. Are they up on top here? No, they are not there. They're not on these tables. I don't see them anywhere so far. In fact, where are they? Are they down on a different level somewhere? I have missed them somewhere. There they are, right down on the bottom. So we talked about having different levels that are available within the game, but that's all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for the full release of Tracks.